Thank you, Yasser. We are with Wesley. So, Wesley, first of all, commiserations for this match. Tell us, what are your first feelings after this match?
Well, Sam's a very strong opponent. I think he played very well. I'm taking nothing from him. Also, big congrats to him for reaching 2,700 for the first time, I believe. So he's gained almost 50 rating points the last few months. He's working hard. I also played before some practice games with him, and I always have a bad result with him. Remember in 2015, I lost to him with white when he was 2,500. So it wasn't an ideal pairing, but not to make excuses, but I also wasn't feeling well at the start of the tournament, and I started very poorly and slowly. But I'm a chess professional, so I love what I do. I'm glad to be back in St. Louis, and we'll come back and fight another day. I think yesterday I was doing well in the opening. Like, I had some advantage after my preparation, so that's one good sign. But obviously mistakes were made here and there. But
what happened there at the end?
Yeah.
When you played that move, bishop to e3, because we saw Sam on the camera. It felt like he was disappointed. I think he spotted that whole variation. How did you feel about that position at that point?
Yeah, he did. Actually, we were analyzing after the game, and he pointed this rook c7 move to me later on and I was very shocked because I mean, I clearly had the worst position for many moves already, and I thought it was already a miracle if I could save the game. And when he played d3, which I underestimated, I thought the game was just over because queen d3, bishop f5, rook g7, queen h5, so I lost my queen.
A little fast for our audience. If we can bring up the board, maybe. By audience, I mean for me.
You lost everybody there.
Oh,
sorry. This was yesterday's game.
Oh, yeah,
this
okay,
crucial moment where you were mentioning that when your
again.
opponent, Sam, has played this move d3, you had inwardly given up. You thought the game's over, and you didn't recognize that you had this opportunity. And you were shocked when Sam pointed out to you, you missed something.
I'm very shocked. Very unlucky. Also, it's fine. I had 8 minutes here, but I barely even used any of my time. Meanwhile, Sam had 2 minutes.
So you did not see this variation of queen takes d3,
bishop f5,
bishop f5, rook takes g7. You had probably saw this.
I just saw this and I thought I resigned. So
I resigned?
I was like, okay.
And then Sam said, do you realize that you had this move, rook c7, which sets up bishop c3, and then you were shocked?
Yeah, of course, I was shocked. I mean, as I said, I probably lost all hope when I saw the move d3. I thought it was over.
You stopped after queen h5, right?
Yeah, definitely. Queen h5. I thought I lose my queen. And I didn't even see bishop c3. Like here, instead of rook c7, bishop c3 is also losing. But at least I only lose a piece after queen c5. But rook c7 actually, and black has to find an only move in order to make a draw.
So and not bishop c3, because you're pointing out that your opponent has queen c5, but rook c7.
Rook c7.
And even though you're an entire queen down, you're right back in the game.
This is actually an amazing position. I mean,
truly.
White only has 2 pawns for the queen, but black is almost lost. So this is almost a study,
right?
In a way. But I just stopped thinking after queen h5.
Exactly.
But rook c7, now black has to find
rook e7.
Yeah, rook e7 in order to save the game. But it would be incredible if black actually even loses. Maybe that's
exactly.
Rook e7. But I think yesterday I was happy with the outcome of the opening. But just wrong rook moves, like rook dg1, the opening, except rook hg1 was a mistake. And also allowing the bishop to get to g7 was fun. But interesting game. I actually was preparing that opening in the Grand Prix in Berlin. So it's not a good use of my prep.
That's terrible. You have this great prep and then you just blow it.
I've been saving it for 3 weeks.
Speaking of prep, Wesley, I have to ask, today you were in a must-win situation with the black pieces. We were perplexed here in the studio by your choice of opening. We thought you'd get into something a bit more fighting, but it felt like you got a position just a bit unpleasant with no chances to win. What inspired you to play this particular variation?
Yeah, that's true. I just thought today I'd be happy to play an endgame, any endgame, basically. Third the queens, because Sam is very strong tactically, and I kind of like endgames, so like Berlin or something. And I was analyzing this position in Berlin because my opponent is played, and I thought it's interesting. I mean, the problem is my opening repertoire. Black is very limited. Mostly, I mostly play solid lines like Nimso stuff, and so it's not so easy. And also, I thought that Sam would play e4 first of all, so I wasn't really prepared for d4. So I thought I'd just play the endgame. But it's the first time I played this line, and I obviously misplayed it. I mean, allowing the pawn to h6 is a very bad decision by me. Like, when the pawn got here, he has some knight h5, g7 ideas.
Yes.
So to everyone who plays this endgame with black, I mean, Kramnik is to play this endgame, so I mean, it's very solid. And black has the bishop pair. I thought if Sam's not expecting this, if white makes inaccuracies, then black would start playing for a win. But it didn't work out. Also, like, I think my mistake was allowing the pawn on h6. I should have played bishop f5 earlier here.
Just a what moment?
After knight f4. So I think bishop f5 here.
Right here. This was the moment where you should have played different.
There. And probably black has no problems, but of course, as you say, it's very hard to win. The idea is that after bishop d3, bishop e6, here black is fine because I'm going to play f5, and if h5, I always have h6. So that's the main point.
That's the main consideration.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously, I mean, I think like if Fabiano has to play for a win with black, he would play some g6 or the king's Indian. But unfortunately, I just simply don't play those openings. I don't play the modern, and I'm not Magnus Carlsen, unfortunately. but we'll bounce back.
All right. Well, thank you, Wesley, for joining us, and good luck in the rapids that you have. You only have one life left now.
I'm not a cat.
Thank you, Wesley.
But, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And in his second chance, you see there the elimination bracket, Wesley So